So, Baba and dear friends, the seekers of truth in UK, Namaste. Welcome to this session of meditation. I would like to tell you about 4 pillars Osho's teaching, 4 pillars of my temple. The first pillar, the most important teaching is respect for the life, a positive towards the life, including yourself. Love yourself, respect yourself, and love and respect each and everyone, each and everything in the existence. The second pillar of Osho's temple is meditation. In short, it means awareness. Be aware, be sensitive. It has many steps. First, be aware of the things which are happening outside. Then be aware of what is happening in the body. Then third, become aware what is happening in the mind, the thinking process. And then become more aware of the emotions, the feelings at the level of the heart. And finally, you will reach to the ultimate awareness, the awareness of awareness. When you become conscious of the consciousness itself. The third pillar of Osho's temple is love. Rather than calling it love, we should call it lovingness. When we say love, we usually think of some relationship. And lovingness is an attitude, a quality of your being. It does not matter whether someone is present there or not. There is no object of love. You are just loving. Just as a flower has blossomed and the fragrance is spreading all around. It is not particularly meant for someone in particular. Even if there is no one passing by, the fragrance keeps on spreading. We can reach to that state of lovingness when we grow more and more in the dimension of heart. And the fourth pillar of Osho's temple is godliness, divinity. The whole existence is full of divine quality. Osho prefers to call it godliness, not God. When we say God, we think in terms of blind. God as a person, the creator of the world, or the one who is running the show. No, there is nobody like that. God is not a person. We should call it godliness, divinity, a quality of existence. This existence is not just physical matter. It is something more. And we can know it by going deep in meditation, in lovingness, with reverence of life. And then we come to know that godliness as divine sound. There is a music going on, very subtle music. Not only inside, but outside as well. The moment we become more and more aware and start listening with a quality of lovingness, we come to experience a very subtle music going on. Normally, we cannot hear it with our ears, but when we become totally silent, The mind is not thinking. There are no emotions in the heart, but we are just aware. And very lovingly we are trying to listen. At that moment, something tremendously wonderful happens. The first glimpse of spiritual experience. We start listening a divine melody, which is going on and on and on all the time. So my dear friends, the seekers of truth, the ultimate truth, that godliness is the target, the goal of all spiritual practices. The three pillars: reverence for life, meditative awareness, and lovingness. These three become the steps towards the temple. Then we enter into the temple of divine music. We experience godliness. And that is the ultimate truth. When we use the word truth in outer world, it has different meanings. For example, scientists are also searching the truth of physical matter, the truth of chemistry, the medical truth, the engineering truth, the truth of computers, so many different dimensions. But those truths keep on changing. After every 10 or 5 years, they find out, they discover something new, and it does not match, it does not fit in the old system. And they have to change the system. What they have thought previously as the final ultimate truth, then it is discarded and replaced with new findings. Again, after a few years, this will be changed. This is not permanent. Now, the scientists don't call it the ultimate truth. They say with honesty that this is what we have come to know up to now. But this may be changed. Everything is relative truth now. No absolute truth in science. Similarly, we use the word in other dimensions. For example, in mathematics, we say 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. This is out of a belief system. It's just a coincidence. We have 10 fingers. These are called digits. So the mathematics is based on 10 digits. But this is just hypothetical. It can be changed. We can make a new system of mathematics. It may have only 1, 2, 3, and then it starts 11, 12, 13. And this system will also work. Only 3 digits. Now people who are working on computers, they are using binary language. Only 0 and 1, 0 and 1, and that is enough. Everything can be calculated by 0 and 1 only. So 5 plus 5 is just a belief system of mathematics. For example, I am in India, you are in a Western country. If I say good evening to you, that will not be applicable to you. The evening is something local. After 1,000 kilometers, it changes. You have a different time there. So time itself is not absolute true. It is just our belief system. We believe that there are 12 hours and then 24 hours in a clock. 12 hours in day, 12 hours in night. This is our only belief. We can change it. We can make a different kind of watch with 10 hours in a day, 10 hours in the night, and then everything will be changed. It is just a belief, traditional, that there are 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. We may have a different clock with 100 minutes in an hour and 100 seconds in 1 minute. then it will be easier to calculate the timings. So there is no truth about the time. It is just our belief system. And similarly, in all the dimensions of life, in the outside world, what we call truth is only believed truth. We can call it a fact, but we should not call it truth. In spiritualism, truth is called only for something which is permanently, absolutely, always there. It has existence. That is the meaning of truth. It really exists. It's not believed. And it never changes. It has been like this since always, since eternity, and it will be like this for eternal time to come in the future. What is that truth? Whatever we know in the outside world keeps on changing. Even our body keeps on changing. Few years ago I was young. Even before that I was a child. I was in mother's womb at some time. My body was so tiny that it cannot be seen with naked eyes. It can be seen only with an electronic microscope. The age is growing. The body is changing. I have become old. Soon this body will disappear, dust unto dust. In the mind, the thoughts are changing. And they keep on changing with a fast speed. The body takes at least some time to change. But in the mind, the thought process is very fast. This moment you have one thought, next moment you have another thought. And sometimes you may get just a contradictory thought. What you believed 5 years ago, you don't believe it now. And what you believe today, you may not believe after 1 year. You may be totally against it. It is possible. So we cannot take these thoughts or their conclusions, their logics, their arguments as truth. They are temporary. They will disappear with time and may be replaced by a contrary thought, a contrary conclusion. And emotions in the heart, they are also very temporary. This moment you may have anger. Next moment the anger will disappear and you may have compassion. This moment you are feeling friendliness. Next moment you may become inimical. The emotions keep on changing. The English word emotions means those things which come and go, which are moving, always in motion, in movement. That's why they are emotion. So emotions are just changing all the time. But there is one factor which is not changing. The watcher of all these things. When I was a child, I was there. Who was that I? When I became young, adult, grown up, and old person, there is someone who is watching all these things happening. Who is that? There is consciousness, the awareness which is watching. The scenes are changing, but the seer is not changing. It is just like you are sitting in a movie house, in a talkies, and watching the movie And the scenes keep on changing. Sometimes tragedy, sometimes comedy, sometimes you feel happy, sometimes you feel unhappy. The story is going on and on and on. But there is one person who is not changing, and that is the watcher, the viewer. Similarly, if we try to figure out who is this watcher inside us, who is this viewer, who has seen childhood and then young age and then seeing old age now, who is that? Of course, that watcher is not old, it was not young, it was not a child. It is something totally different from these three stages. Similarly, when you are having one thought, or second thought, or third thought, or sometimes you do not have any thought. Between two thoughts, there is a small gap. Still the watcher is there, who is watching this silence. Nothing is happening in the mind. The screen of the movie is empty, just for a moment, then another scene will come. But even then, the watcher was there. Similarly, although the emotions are changing, but the watcher is not changing. When love came, the watcher was there. When love is gone, the watcher is still there. Hate comes and the watcher watches it. Sooner or later, the hate also disappears. But the watcher remains there. The watcher is not moving. It is always there. It does not matter what is happening in the outer world, in the body, in the mind, or in the heart. That watchfulness, that consciousness, that awareness is the eternal truth. That is the truth of spiritualism. So when we talk about the truth, please remember we are talking about the ultimate watchful consciousness. And we go deeper and deeper in it. Soon we realize that sky of consciousness is echoing. It is not really empty. It is full of sound. And that sound is divine sound. That is godliness. So when we realize consciousness, we come to the very roots of ourself, the center of our being. And we start listening the soundless sound. Then we realize that there is no self. The idea of self also evaporates. Yes, there is consciousness and the silent music going on, but there is nothing like self. There is nothing like somebody else. Finally, there is no devotee and no object of devotion. There is no meditator and no object of meditation. Yes, something is there, but it cannot be called self. It is not other either. The duality has disappeared. That is existential truth of godliness. So dear friends, we are going to listen Osho's discourse and then we will enter into meditation. Please listen